Join me. Fight together in a brotherhood of our kind.
Welcome to WatchMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 X-Men movie fight scenes of all time. Beware of major spoilers ahead. Number 10. Wolverine vs. Stryker's Men. X2. X-Men United.
Hey, take him. He's stunned. I can help you. Help them.
During a quiet night at the X-Mansion, a bunch of masked men broke in to capture as many young mutants as possible. Since Wolverine was the only adult in the house, it was up to him to lead a counterattack and save the students. Logan expertly switched between stealth and all-out offense to tear Stryker's forces down.
Let's go.
He also took tranquilizers to the chest without so much as flinching. And although he was vastly outnumbered, he took out enemies so effortlessly that it actually felt like they were at a disadvantage. As he cut his way through the mansion, Colossus got a few satisfying hits in too. Their combined efforts kept a lot of innocent students safe.
Logan!
You wanna shoot me? Shoot me! Don't shoot him!
Number 9. The X-Men vs. the Horsemen of Apocalypse. X-Men Apocalypse.
Wait. What?
Not all of us can fully control our powers.
Then don't. You need to embrace them.
When a big bad tried to hijack Xavier's body, it was up to a newly formed team of heroes to save the professor. The relatively inexperienced X-Men had to pull off the rescue while fighting 4 empowered mutants. This climactic clash gave us an opportunity to see one-on-ones we never could have seen coming.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Storm's fight against Cyclops and the battle between Beast and Psylocke were particular highlights of the exciting sequence. Whenever it seemed like the heroes would fall, the forces of good pulled off a last-minute maneuver that kept them in the fray. In the end, the new X-Men Alliance managed to save Charles and establish themselves as a formidable team.
Get out!
Professor, it's okay, you're with us. It's okay.
Number 8. Deadpool and Domino vs. Cable. Deadpool 2.
Russell! Russell Collins!
Hands off that kid, John Connor!
The last 2 surviving members of X-Force were forced into a close-quarters clash with a fierce future soldier. Fortunately, luck was on their side. Although Domino put up a great fight, Deadpool absolutely stole the show when he arrived on the scene.
You're doing great.
X-Force! I guess dubstep never dies.
He fended off Cable with dynamic fight choreography. And when Deadpool wasn't getting hits in, he was throwing out hilarious nods to past films and tons of quips. While the stakes of the fight were high, the humor made the bus bout feel like an entertaining spectacle. We do wish the scene were a little longer so we could have had a definitive winner. However, the movie made up for cutting the fight short by bringing in an intimidating juggernaut.
You probably get this a lot, but I am a huge fan. Uncanny X-Men 183, Thor 411, X-Men Unlimited 12. You know, it has always been a dream of mine to see my face reflected in your helmet.
Number 7. Human Mutants vs. the Dabari. Dark Phoenix.
You only want the girl. Step aside.
No!
What are you doing?
What Raven would have.
An alliance of evil aliens thought they could get their hands on Jean Grey without a fight. But neither the X-Men nor Magneto's people were willing to let the Dabari win. During the hectic scene, the mutants fought the aliens in and on top of a train. Storm and Nightcrawler dispatched a handful of enemies, each without breaking a sweat. Magneto also earned an MVP award by weaponizing metal in extremely cool ways and facing down powerful foes without fear.
I have no desire to fight you.
I get that a lot.
To keep audiences on their toes, there were a few surprising reversals and sudden deaths. Admittedly, this well-crafted sequence didn't make up for all of Dark Phoenix's missteps, but even the movie's biggest detractors have to concede that this train action sequence was outstanding.
You wanted her dead.
I had a change of heart.
Number 6. Wolverine vs. Lady Deathstrike. X2. X-Men United.
I used to think you were one of a kind, Wolverine. I was wrong.
Logan seemed to meet his match when he started a deadly duel with one of Stryker's brainwashed mutants. Like Wolverine, Lady Deathstrike had an accelerated healing factor, an adamantium skeleton, and deadly claws. Since her unique abilities were complemented by excellent combat skills, she was able to give Logan one of the toughest fights of his long life. The clash was extremely fast-paced and brutal. It's supported by dynamic camera work that gave the fight more energy and made it look different than any one-on-one we'd seen before this point. While this wouldn't be the last time Logan got into a mirror match, we'll never forget his hard-hitting struggle against Lady Deathstrike. Number 5. The X-Men versus the Brotherhood of Mutants. X-Men: The Last Stand.
You men, come at the doors! Everybody get together and hold this line!
At the end of the Fox trilogy, we got the biggest live-action clash between mutants that has ever been seen on screen. Magneto assembled an army of allies with terrifying abilities to break into a key facility. The only thing standing in between him and ultimate victory was a handful of X-Men. Each of the heroes got time in the spotlight to prove why they're on the last line of defense. Outside of their individual moments of glory, we also got satisfying team-ups between allies. Seeing Wolverine and Colossus pull off a comic-accurate fastball special in live action made for an especially rewarding moment.
Hey, let me get a strike.
The battle itself ends in tragedy. However, the conflict felt like a triumph for the genre because it was so well executed.
You never learn, do you?
Actually, I do.
Number 4. Wolverine versus the Yakuza. The Wolverine.
Hey, something's done right.
Moments before Mariko could be captured by criminals, Logan stepped in and called them out. Since Wolverine's healing factor wasn't working like it normally did, he had to struggle to keep the Yakuza at bay without getting too injured. The choice to make Logan vulnerable made us worry about his survival for the first time ever.
Goody.
Let's go. Come on, let's go!
This was especially true when the fight was taken to the top of a bullet train. The unique action, incredible choreography, and fast-paced action were all praised by fans and critics. Although this wasn't Logan's final battle in the Wolverine, the bullet train sequence is still widely regarded as the film's best fight.
What happened to you?
We get off here, let's go.
Number 3. The first X-Men versus Shaw and his mutants. X-Men First Class.
All right, Moira, this is what we're gonna do. Get in the radio, tell them to clear both fleets out immediately. I'm going in. Beast, Havoc, back him up.
In order to prevent World War III, the first X-Men had to fight an enemy team on land, in the air, and above the sea. The massive melee takes full advantage of its multiple settings by challenging the combatants to use their powers in creative ways. During the battle, we get an exciting and well-shot aerial duel between Banshee and Angel. It's also fun to see Beast constantly outsmart the teleporting Azazel. But the most satisfying part of the conflict comes down to the clash between Shaw and Magneto.
Eric. What a pleasant surprise.
While the master of magnetism is initially outmatched, a clever diversion and psychic assist puts him on top. Magneto's gruesome victory over the villain brought the extended action sequence to a grim yet unforgettable conclusion.
This is what we're going to do.
No. Please, Eric, no.
I'm going to count to 3, and I'm going to move the coin.
Number 2. Nightcrawler versus the Secret Service. X2. X-Men United.
Multiple subjects. Mr. President, security breach. Jackie, leave. Let's get him out to the car.
While audiences usually cheer for Nightcrawler when he's on screen, they genuinely feared him at the beginning of X2. After being brainwashed to attack the president, the mutant slipped into the White House to execute his mission.
There's something in the corridor.
To the shelter. Negative, not clear.
Nightcrawler stayed ahead of his enemies by constantly teleporting out of harm's way. Once he had his opposition right where he wanted them, he'd take down agents with his acrobatic fighting style and incredible agility.
It's
outside the Oval Office.
Lock this place down!
The exquisite special effects used in this early 2000s scene still hold up decades later. This sequence also received acclaim for making excellent use of Nightcrawler's abilities. It wasn't until Quicksilver's debut in Days of Future Past that we'd get such a quick yet impactful action scene again. Before we examine our top pick, here are some honorable mentions. Wolverine vs. Sabretooth Part 2, X-Men. They turned New York's most famous landmark into a fierce battleground. Shaw's team versus the CIA, X-Men First Class. A one-sided slaughter that showed how dangerous rogue mutants can be.
Get back! We can help!
Logan versus the Car Thieves, Logan. The first R-rated Wolverine bout delivered with its brutality and fantastic action.
Get the ammo! No! Not the car!
Magneto and his mutants versus Xavier and his students, Dark Phoenix. It's amazing that this intense battle was contained to one city street. X-Men vs. the Sentinels Part 1, X-Men Days of Future Past. An epic opening fight for the future of mutant kind. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Wolverine and Laura vs. the Reavers and X-24, Logan. In a bleak future, the last X-Man discovers that a sinister group is going to try to abduct his daughter and her friends.
To reach them before they get to the border!
It was immensely satisfying to see him tap into his berserker rage to slice the enemy down. At the same time, we loved seeing Laura cut foes down to size by herself before teaming up with her dad. Just when we thought the clash couldn't get wilder, a Wolverine clone known as X-24 arrived and took the fight into overtime.
Showtime, boy!
The bloody battle's reliance on practical effects and great twists constantly took our breath away. By the time we reached the heartbreaking conclusion, we knew we had witnessed a truly astonishing fight.
This is what it feels like.
What's your favorite live-action X-Men fight? Let us know in the comments below.
What the hell are you?
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.